guys, how are we all? Welcome back to my channel. I know it has been a while. It has been a while actually. Bella, my cat is scratching the chair. Brilliant start. But yeah, it has been a while. I've had some crazy things going on, which I'm going to update you all about now and talk to you about some horrible things that have been going on as well. Overall, I just want to say, like, I am in a totally better place now. I'm so much happier, so much more content. Home life is a lot better due to what I'm going to talk about. And I just want to say as well, like, I'm not doing this for attention, and I'm not, I just want to, if I can just help one mum or one person who's going through the same things as what I went through, then I will be happy. I'm not saying that, oh, please feel sorry for me, give me sympathy. I'm just wanting to help others out there that maybe feel like they're stuck like I did in a situation and don't know how to get out of it, or are made to feel like they can't get out of it, and the decisions that are put onto them definitely make them feel like they're stuck. So yeah, let's get into the video. So as you all know, I am a qualified teacher, and I've done work in primary schools. I've been part of management team in nurseries, and this job that I took on, so I went back from maternity leave back to my job. I just felt like it wasn't for me. There were certain things that happened that made me feel not a valued member of staff, should I say. And then this opportunity arose where I should have, now that I look back at it, I should have realised the signs. So the lady who headhunted me, as I would say, I'm not blowing my own trumpet, but she did, headhunted me and said, I'd love you to come and be a preschool teacher at my nursery. I think you do an amazing job. And she made me feel really valued and appreciated, and was constantly calling and texting me and offering me this and offering me that. For instance, offering me more pay, offering me 50% off childcare, obviously because I have to take Eva with me, and just offered me basically the world and my ideal job. So I was there like, yeah, okay, I really want the job, I've got to give them 4 weeks notice. This should have been a telltale sign for me, but it wasn't. So straight away she was very pushy and was like, no, I want you to start ASAP. So I was there like, well, I've just worked at my current job for 2 years, I don't want to let them down. I feel horrible, just, leaving with immediate effect. And she basically turned around to me and said, right, well, I'll start interviewing other people then. So at this point then, I'm panicking, thinking this is my ideal dream job. Like, the stuff that she was offering me, where it was, the preschool was like a classroom, it was just everything that, like, I love and enjoy. And I was thinking, this is going to slip through my fingers, this opportunity. So after speaking with people, and my dad did warn me and said, do you really want to work for someone that's this pushy, that's like that? And I was there like, yeah, like, she's lovely, da da da. And yeah, so the next day I handed my notice in at my job with immediate effect. That was on the Tuesday, and then on the Wednesday I started at my new job. So everything was fine and dandy. Starting at my new job, they were all lovely, really welcoming, had a laugh. And then the cracks started to show. So at this point, the lady was the deputy manager. So I had taken a step back from all management roles. That was another thing that I liked about this place. She said, you'll be getting more pay, but you can take a step back from management. Like, I've got a management team, it's fine. I don't need anyone else to be management, which I thought was brilliant. So I thought, oh yes, like, I'm getting paid more to do less. So I was like, yeah, that's brilliant. That's something that I want to do. So going back to the cracks started to show. So the deputy manager at the time, she was just very abrupt. I don't know whether she felt threatened by me because I'd been in management since I literally walked out of uni. And she was nice to my face some of the times, but I could tell she would gossip and things behind my back. This was at the start. And she would just make little digs at me. Like, you don't think about it at the time, and you walk away and then you think, actually, like, you've just made a dig at me there. This was like within like the first week this started to happen. And the manager and the owner, the two ladies together, well, their behaviour is disgusting, like together. And I will go and say this, and if people want to ask me which nursery this is, I will gladly tell them, but I'm not going to broadcast it, obviously, on here. But the way that they were together was disgusting, not only to me, to other members of staff. It was horrible. And then as the months went on, it just started to get worse and worse and worse. The little digs, because the preschool was separate to the nursery, we had a phone that connected, the phone calls down, moaning, having a go at silly little things like sitting the people with the lunch boxes on the same table as the people who have dinners. Just silly little things like that, but literally you did that, like it's actually ridiculous. Like, especially when I've been in management before, and I would never, it was very much a dictatorship there and very much a hierarchy, whereas when I've been in management, it's never been like that. Everyone's equal and everyone's got a part to play, and working as a team is the best way, and it's better for the children. The children don't want to see people acting like this with each other and people being unhappy. And I used to come home from work and start moaning at Sean. I'd be stressed out and we'd start arguing because I'd be stressed out, I'd be upset. My first week working there, on the Friday, I left and I burst into tears as I walked out the door and banged Sean, and I was on the phone to him in tears. Like, that's what it was like, and the amount of times that I had cried over the weeks was ridiculous. And to say I got anxiety was a bit far-fetched. Like, I think there's a difference between anxiety and being anxious, as I spoke to the girls in my mum group chat. And I think I didn't think I had anxiety, I think I was very anxious. Like, on a Sunday night before I was going to go there, I would be panicking, thinking, oh, what haven't I done? What they're going to have a go at me for now. Just making sure that I'd done everything that I needed to do, planned activities, and just so that it would make my life easier, and but they would always find something to have a dig at. Always, just the little niggly things. And the thing is as well, I always think, don't have a go at someone for something that you wouldn't do yourself, and half of the time they weren't doing it themselves, they didn't have a clue. So going back to the story, so after a couple of months of being there, I caught tonsillitis, so I was ill, off work for I think it was about 3 days. They made me take 48 hours off to make sure that my antibiotics had kicked in. And yeah, and when I came back from there, they were really funny with me for having time off work. I mean, you know, I'd just taken nearly a year off with Eva. I'd gone back to work. Obviously, my immune system isn't going to be great. So yeah, they weren't happy about that. And then like 2 months later, I think it was, obviously if you watch my channel and you see me on Instagram, I then had a knee injury from running. I was off for I think another 3 days, which I know obviously isn't great when you start a job. And then this is when, so all this is like carrying on, like when I'm there, they're making little digs at me, comments, and things like that. There's no praise ever, there's never a thank you, and bearing in mind I was constantly doing overtime, so I was promised that I was 8 till 4, and I think I left at 4 probably about 3 times. The overtime that I had to do was absolutely ridiculous. Sometimes I would start at 7:30, I was meant to leave at 4:15, and I wouldn't leave till 5:30. Like, it was actually ridiculous, and there was never a thank you or anything. And then when the final straw was, obviously over the months this was beating me down, getting me down. Like, I think if I'd have carried on working there, I would have gone into depression. Like, I was upset all the time, anxious to go to work, yeah, just moaning to Sean, having to go at Sean, taking it out on him all the time, bless him. Like, he put up with this for like months, poor kid. But yeah, I just wasn't a nice person to be around, and I just didn't want to be around anyone either, because I just didn't ever feel like it, and I was just upset and just worried about, like, I'd spend my whole weekend worrying all the time about what I was doing and making sure I had everything done, and yeah, it's just not nice. But anyway, then Eva was ill. She was sick on the Sunday night. I obviously rang in on Monday and said, I'm not going to be in, Eva's been sick. They said to me, take 48 hours off, obviously for sickness. I go back in on the Wednesday and I get called into the office, and I'm threatened with a disciplinary. If I have any more time off, then I'm going to get a disciplinary. And I obviously argued my point and said, but I wasn't off for me, I was off for Eva. It didn't matter. They were still going to give me a disciplinary if I was off, which is out of my hands really. So, and then shortly after that, it had been going on for a while, but me and Sean noticed that every time Eva had been at nursery, she would come home. So she'd go to nursery the Monday, Tuesday, she would come home on the Tuesday night and her bum would always be sore. So I started counting how many nappies that I was putting in the bag. And some days I would put 5 nappies in, and from like 8 till like 5:30 she was changed twice throughout the day. Which I think is absolutely ridiculous for a 1-year-old. Like, when she's at home I change her at least 6 times. You know, I'm probably over cautious, but I just think if she's pooed once, like, you're only changing her when she's pooed and then again. Like, what happens after a nap? What happens in the middle of the afternoon before she goes for a nap? Like, yeah, so I was obviously a bit like, and then it came to the point where she came home one day and her bum was, oh my gosh, I've never seen anything like it. It was red raw, it was blistered, it was horrible, like, and I literally sat there and I just cried. She was screaming, I couldn't wipe her bum because she was screaming so bad, and I literally just sat there and I just burst into tears and I was like, what is going on? So the next day I went into work and I actually asked management if I could speak to them. So obviously I went into the office, and this was obviously about a particular person, the deputy manager, and I asked the owner, I said, please can I speak to you on your own? She denied me of that, she wouldn't let me, she wanted her to be there. I was then denied having anyone else in the room with me, so no witness for me, which obviously isn't great, because you should be allowed a witness of your choice in the room with you, so I was denied that. And then I expressed my concerns about Eva's bum, and I got it all turned back on me. I got them having a go at me, digging me out for an hour. I was in there, I was crying, they were telling me that I'm overreacting because I'm tired and I'm clearly struggling with full-time hours, which I've worked full-time hours all my life. I'm not struggling just because I've had a baby, like, you know. I was struggling with the guilt of leaving Eva. They actually asked me if I needed to go to the doctors. They actually asked me, because I made a complaint about my daughter's bum, they asked me if I needed to go to the doctors. Was talking about my mental health, saying, like, do I need to go to the doctors because of my mental health? Because I'm obviously struggling with full-time work and I'm struggling with the mum guilt of leaving Eva, and obviously she's my first child and I'm gonna feel like this, and if I'm struggling then I should go see someone. Do I think I need tablets? And it goes on, literally. They were throwing everything at me. They were just disgusting. Like, the stuff that they were saying to me was disgusting, like out of order. And yeah, and I sat in that office and I said to her, she said, why are you crying? Why have you got this attitude? And I said, because you're not listening to me. And her response was, this is a 50-year-old woman. Her response to me was, oh, not listening, am I? Like this. And I was like, you're 50, you're having a go at a 26-year-old girl for an hour, and she's sat here crying, and you don't care. And it's about her daughter. Whether I'm an employee or I'm just a parent, you should never treat me like that. I'm still paying for your care. Oh, and bearing in mind, she told me I had 50% off childcare. I never got 50% off childcare. So I was paying the full whack for Eva's childcare to be treated like that. To be treated like this for months and months and months. It was absolutely disgusting. There was no respect at all. So after that I came home and that was it for me. I was done. Like, the way that made me feel, they belittled me. They made me feel like I didn't, like, I actually questioned myself, and I came home and I said to Sean, do you think I need to go to the doctors? Like, do you think I've got mental health? Like, do I need to go to the doctors? I'm actually welling up now. And he was like, no, stop being stupid, Amy. Like, why are you letting them get into your head? And the thing is, it makes you feel like that. Like, I wasn't going to get upset on here. But yeah, it makes you feel like you don't know what you're doing. Like I was like, I've been to uni for all this time and I literally feel like I don't know how to do my job. Like I don't know what I'm doing. Like am I depressed? Like do I need to go to the doctors? Am I struggling? Like am I a shit mum? Basically, that's how they made me feel. Like am I horrible for putting my child in nursery 3 days a week? Full time, like should I be with her? Like, and I did just feel after that I was like, this, I'm done. Like, and Sean said to me, he was like, get out of there now. Like after that he was like, look, I've heard you moaning about it for months, like I've taken the rap for most of their crap that they're giving you, like you just need to get out of there now. And yeah, so that night I started applying for jobs. I started applying for management jobs, and I was literally applying for anything. So I was applying for management jobs in nurseries. I was applying for admin jobs. I was applying for support worker jobs with children and families. I was applying for so much stuff. And then I got this call back from this lady from a nursery, and it was a deputy manager's position with a future looking to be the manager after obviously a while. So I applied for this job and she said to me, can you come for an interview? Obviously I was in the predicament of I couldn't go for an interview in the day because if I was to have any more time off work I was going to get disciplinary. So this is how they made it really hard for me to leave. So I arranged with her, she was so lovely, to go for an interview after work when I finished at 4. Obviously I didn't finish at 4 on that day, I finished at 5:30. And bless the lady, she's so lovely, like literally so lovely. She waited for me, had my interview, and then the week after she offered me the job. So that is the new adventure that I've been talking about. I've got a new job now at a nursery, which I have been. I've spent the morning there, and there was no red flags or anything like that. She's just a genuine nice lady who is wanting to have a deputy manager to work with and kind of step back from her being full-time there. She wants to take a step back and, you know, leave it to someone who has the experience, which I have. And yeah, so I got that job and I was so happy. And the day after I went in there and I handed my notice in, and it was the happiest I've ever been. I felt like a weight had lifted off my shoulders. Like, it was brilliant. Obviously for the 4 weeks after handing my notice in, I was subject to being ignored. They spoke as if they were speaking and I wasn't even stood there. They would actually like look through me as if I was a ghost, like I wasn't there. It's actually pathetic. Like, grow up, you're 40, 50-year-old women, like. And it just goes to show, you don't look after your staff, they will leave your business, because another 2 members of staff have handed in their notices after me because of exactly the same reasons. So yeah, I just wanted to do this video just to update you on what's been going on and just how low it actually made me feel, like being in that position. And that if you feel like that, you can get out. Like, they made it hard for me to go to interviews, like to leave and stuff, but there's always a way around it. And like, you can do it and you're better than that. And when I went for my interview, she was asking me the questions and I was just smashing out the answers. And I was thinking in my head, like, I actually do know this stuff. Like, before I went to the interview, I was sat there thinking, I don't know anything. Like, because they belittled me and made me feel like I didn't know anything about my job, when actual fact, they don't know anything. And if anyone treats you like that and belittles you and makes you feel like you're worthless and upsets you, and you're coming out of work every week crying like I was, and you're sat there on a Sunday thinking, I don't want to go, like, because you're anxious of what's going to happen, get out. Like, you can do it. I did it, and I literally thought I was going to be stuck there, and like, I felt horrible because Eva's made friends at nursery, and the girls, the team were lovely. Like, I couldn't knock the girls. Like, they're a lovely bunch of girls, and I just hope in the future, like, they'll, like, you know, flourish and find something better than there. But yeah, and that's my story, and I'm literally like, feel 10 times better for leaving. Like a weight's lifted off my shoulders, and I feel so much more happier. Yeah, it's just better. I'm just a better person. I'm living my best life, let me tell you that. So yeah, but I don't want you to like take this as, oh, give Amy sympathy, but I just wanted to help one person. Like, if you feel like you're stuck in this rut, or you feel like your management is like this, then just please, like, you can leave and you can change things, and it is for the better. Like, it will make you feel 10 times better. Like, you can do it, and it was definitely a learning curve for me, and it'll be something that I'll never ever do again. Like, you know, I left a decent job for that job, and that was another thing. She made me feel like she did me a favour because she headhunted me and gave me a better job, which in actual fact she didn't. I would have rather took the pay cut and stayed at my job before. But yeah, learning curve and all that. But I just wanted to tell my story on here and how it's made me feel, and why I haven't been active on here, and why I've been just getting my shit together and sorting my life out. And like, when you get in that zone of, right, I'm doing this now, I'm leaving, I'm getting it together, then everyone's a winner. But I hope this video has helped you if you're in the same position as me, or has given you some, you know, push to do the right thing, and to, you know, and even if you are treated like this at work, just remember, it's not the be all and end all, it's just a job, as Sean would say to me. That's all he kept saying to me, it's just a job. But if you like this video, then please give me a thumbs up. And also subscribe to my channel, as there will be lots of new content, because I'm getting back into the YouTube vibes. So there'll be lots of new content. And I will see you all in my next video. And I hope this has helped you guys. And remember, stay positive, and there's always a way out of a situation. And there's always help. I'll leave some links below to like help and guidelines of workplaces and everything. I will see you in my next video. Bye bye.